is going to be about the nearest ghost in proximity to you. And this time it's going to be human ghosts only. Once human, now deceased. Human ghosts only. I'm not getting into the other types of spirits today. We're not asking about that. We're asking about the nearest ghost, right, to you. This could be a wandering ghost, a ghost on your land, a ghost connected to you. So we're going to get a significator. It's going to tell us about their temperament, their personality, possibly what their appearance was like, whether they were feminine or masculine presenting, and then we're going to get some attribute cards to see what their state of being is at the moment. So, just going to close my eyes and feel these cards till the energy feels right. We're asking about ghosts for pile 1. Who is the closest ghost to them? Please tell us. Who is the closest ghost to them? I feel like it's that one. Okay. All right, so here's your significator, and we're going to go ahead and draw some attribute cards from my homemade attribute deck. And you know what? I'm going to put this into 4, shuffle some halves together, and then shuffle those halves together just to make sure everything is good and mixed up. Good and mixed up. So let's get some attributes for this ghost who is in proximity, closest to you. So this is going to be a ghost that comes close to you or is near you already. They may, but in general, they're going to have a proximity to you, okay? As in your area, in your area, okay? Proximity. And actually, before we draw some of these, I'm going to go ahead and ask my coin to determine if this is a wandering ghost or a ghost connected to you or to someone you know. All right. Is this ghost a wandering ghost? As in not connected to them personally, but a wandering ghost. Okay, well, it totally flipped out. Let's see what it landed on. Okay, well, it flipped out and it landed on my camera's table. It says no on that, but because that was kind of out there, let's ask a follow-up question and see if we can get an affirmative or a negative on a second clarifying question. Is this ghost personally connected to those who are watching pile 1 right now? Yes. Okay. So apparently this ghost is personally connected to you in some way. It's a personal connection to you. Whether they knew you in life or maybe they're an ancestor, they have a connection to you specifically somehow. So let's see what that connection is. Let's find out what these attributes are. All right, let's see. What is the state of the ghost who is around you? What is their emotional, mental state, motivation? What state of being is this ghost that is around pile 1? Okay, well, those, I'm not sure whether to take them or not. Usually I only take them if they flip right side up. Yeah, I'm going to follow my own rule. Only take them if they flip right side up is what I usually follow. Okay, thank you, Spirit. We appreciate everything. Please tell us about the state of the ghost around pile 1. This nearest ghost around pile 1. These, I know, I gotta get these printed off because these are homemade and they stick. I have a lot of homemade stuff. It's just part of who I am and what I do. I don't know how else to explain it. It's just part of who I am, part of what I do, what I've always done, and where my path has led me. This coin is something I made. Please give us attributes and tell us about the state of being of this ghost, please. Please tell us about their state of being. What is the state of being and the characteristics of this spirit? Okay, 1. Characteristics of this spirit, please. And thank you. We want to know about their state of being. What state of being is this spirit in? What is going on with them? Okay, state of being of this spirit. What is this spirit state? What are they? What's going on with them? What is happening with this spirit? Emotions, motivations, state of being, please. This spirit. Okay, that is 4. That's what I usually draw from this deck. All right, so we've got our 4 attribute cards. We'll go ahead and flip these along with the significator and see where that takes us. So, oh, okay, all right. Jack of clubs. So, right off the bat, so the clubs are very friendly in general. It's a very, oops, just knocked something over. Sorry about that. They're very friendly in general. The jacks, a lot of times they represent kind of younger as opposed to older. And they often represent to the inquirer, so, you know, you would be the inquirer. They often represent friends. Okay, so this spirit in life was the kind of person to be a supportive friend, to be helpful, to be there for you, whether you knew them personally or if, I mean, so they do have a personal connection to you. This can mean a lot of things. It can be a passed on loved one, grandparent, could be a passed on friend. It's very sad to lose people. So if you have lost somebody, you know, I'm very sorry for that loss, for your loss. But this person, the way they're still being described too, a good friend, a stable person, the kind of person who's there for others. So that's how they were in life. That's how they're still kind of being described. So this is a friendly spirit overall so far. Let's check and see what's going on with the attribute cards. Grateful, celebrating, feeling well, and confused. So confusion often comes up with spirits. Most of the time it means that they're still a little bit confused on where they are at, what they are doing, their new state of being, essentially. But the spirit is feeling well. So to me, this signifies that they didn't feel well before they became deceased. They may have passed away from an illness. The fact that it's pointing out feeling well. They are not feeling the effects of a sickness or an illness, or if it was a bad passing, they're not feeling that anymore. Grateful, it means that they, well, how do I say? I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, but they know that other people were there for them. So the way this looks to me is it's somebody who was ill, they had a sickness. They are not feeling that sickness anymore, but there were people that were there for them when they were sick, when they were feeling unwell, when they had this illness, or when they were going through whatever. It very well could be that this led to their passing, whatever this illness was. They are grateful for what other people did for them and for people being there for them. And this actually may be why, well, they may be with you partly, honestly, well, obviously because they've got a connection. There was some kind of relationship there, but they may actually be coming back around or be around as strongly as they are because they have a sense of gratitude to you personally. You may have been one of the ones that was there for them. You may have provided them support, physical, mental, or emotional, and they're grateful for that. Celebrating, as weird as it sounds, that may be going in with feeling well. They may feel lighter, more jubilant because they're not feeling the effects of that sickness. It could also be that they're celebrating a milestone in your life, a milestone in the life of people they care about. Maybe a friend's wedding is coming up, or you have a graduation, or something of that nature, something good happening in the life of someone that they loved and cared about. And the spirit still loves and cares about the people, and they're celebrating this good milestone along with everyone else. Again, with confused, that's pretty common with spirits. Depending on what happens, sometimes they do kind of get a little confused as to like their state of being or where they should go or what they should do. If they're not fully cognizant of the fact that they have passed on, right? Like maybe sometimes they don't really get it fully right away. They can be a little confused. So that's actually really common with spirits, to be confused about your state of being at first. So it could also be that this is a more recent passing as well. They may not just fully grasp their new existence yet. So if you have gone through a loss recently, I'm very sorry for that. But basically this spirit around you in this reading is a friendly one, a very friendly one. They were a supportive and good person in life. If they experienced pain before or during their passing, if it was not a good passing, or maybe they were dealing with illness before, they're no longer feeling that. The pain is gone. They're not feeling it. They're not feeling any of that. They're grateful for the people that were there for them, for the people they had during life. And it could very well be that love that, that's hand in hand. I'm feeling like this is a very loving spirit as well. And the love they have for others has tied them. I'm not saying that in a negative way, but it has tied them to other people. So this is a very positive, very loving spirit. They were grateful for people while alive. They're grateful now too. Like I said, it's likely that people were there for them in a bad time. And if there's a milestone coming up in your friend group or your family, if there's something to be celebrated, they're celebrating that as well. They're very happy. So, but I do feel like this might be a little bit more recent. just because confused tends to happen when in the beginning stages of your transitioning from living to the other side, essentially. So, all right, pile one, that was your reading. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Welcome, pile 2, to your reading. This is going to be a reading on what ghost has the closest proximity to you. This is going to be human ghosts only, or human spirits only, that we are asking about, as in once human and now passed on. So we're not going to get into the other types of spirits in this reading at this time. This is going to be proximity to you. It could be a wandering spirit, could be on your land, or it could be one that has a personal connection to you. So we're going to get a significator here and see about that. Just move some of these, twist these around. All right. So I'm going to close my eyes and I'm just going to feel the cards until the energy feels right to get the significator. Pile number 2, closest ghost. No, I feel like it should be twisted. Proximity. Closest ghost to number 2. Okay. All right, so here's our significator, and we're going to get some attribute cards, find out a little bit about this spirit, about their state of being, state of energy, their motivations, their emotions, state of being, what's going on, what's their current state of being of this ghost, what's going on with this spirit that we pulled a significator for, has the closest proximity to pile number 2. And you know, I need to get these printed off because they do not spread well. All right, so that one, set these aside. Just going to go through these till I get to ones that the energy feels right. Ghost pile number 2, what's going on with them, state of being, attributes. For pile number 2, this spirit, what is going on with them? What is going on with this spirit? What is their current state of being? This one, set these aside. What is their current state of being? One more, please, to describe this spirit's attributes, their current attributes. All right. And before we flip over our cards, we're going to ask to see our yes or no and see whether this is a wandering spirit or a spirit that has a connection to you. So, is this a spirit that has a personal connection to pile number 2? Is this a spirit that has a personal connection to the people watching pile number 2? No. There is not a personal connection. Okay, now we're going to see if we're going to ask about wandering. That's going to tell us whether it is more focused in one area or not. Is this spirit a wandering spirit? No. Okay. So this spirit is not wandering. It means that it is more I want to say localized. I don't know if that's the right word or not, but basically it stays in the same area. It's not walking all over. It's not, there are some that kind of wander. So let's try another clarifying question, see if I feel the need to ask any more after that, but. Okay. Is this a spirit who stays in the area, who stays within pile number 2's land or living space? Okay, is this ghost stay in pile number 2's area of land that they live on? Yes. Okay. So this is a spirit that stays where they're at, and where they're at is, okay. So when I say the land that you live on, the reason I phrase it that way is because sometimes, for example, if an old farmhouse gets converted into apartments and I'm like, oh, is it in your house? Okay, well, it could be in the whole house, right? Because the entire thing used to be theirs. So basically, the reason I qualify it as, is it the land that you live on? Is it your dwelling space? Is because it covers that like situation, because it essentially, what it does is clarify that it is staying in your area. It's the place that you live. So your land or your house or your apartment, that's where it's at. So sorry, I just thinking about apartment for some reason. Just had a really strong like visual image of an apartment. Okay, so ghost does not have a personal connection to you. It's not a wanderer. It is where you live. It's where you're at. So that includes your house, your apartment, your land, your backyard, whatever land you live on, whatever area you're on, that's where it stays. So it's not a wanderer. It stays there. Does not have a personal connection to you, but that's where it's at. So it's haunting the area, essentially. So let's go ahead and we will turn over our significator to get some attributes, well, some information about this spirit. Wow. Okay. That's... All right, let me get my right words here together for a minute. Let's see. It's not the most savory of characters. Okay. This is not the most savory of characters. I guess I can't think of a better way to put it. There's a range. They could be outright devious, or they could just be indiscreet and untrustworthy. Wow. So, in life, at best, they were kind of indiscreet, kind of untrustworthy. At worst, they were devious. I have no idea why, but I'm thinking about pirates. Like, do you live near a coastal area? Is there like a coast nearby, or anybody go to like a ship sometime soon? Or pirates can be kind of devious. Okay. Anyway, this spirit, yeah, that's their. So let's flip over our other attribute cards and find out a little bit more about this. So, all right, our first attribute card, competitive. All right, this is a person is and was competitive. Empathetic. Okay, so that's good. At least there's that. Usually that's good. Now, there are such a thing as like a dark empath, right? Where they use it, abuse it kind of a thing, but no. And I just had to say it, didn't I? Bad intentions. self-explanatory. They don't have good intentions. Self-confident. So, wow. Okay, so this spirit that is haunting your land or haunting your apartment or house or that area, they're not personally connected to you. So it's likely it's something else connecting them to that area. It could be the land. It could be the house itself, the apartment itself. It could be an item, right? Like if you go antiquing a lot and you just happen to bring something really cool home last weekend and now your TV's acting weird, well, it could be you brought a little bit more home than you expected. You know what I mean? So, ooh, yeah. But this spirit's, they are actively devious. So when I said this at best could be indiscreet, at worst could be devious, the fact that bad intentions comes up tells me actively devious. Self-confident and competitive, it means that's how they were in life. They had confidence. They were competitive with other people. Empathetic, again, it shows an ability to understand other people's emotions and to sense what they're feeling. It doesn't mean you're going to use it for good. And in this case, I don't think they did. I think they used it to manipulate people, to get their way, to get something won over on others. I think they used it for themselves in a selfish way. So, okay, interesting. You got a spirit haunting your place or haunting an item. You know what? Let's do a yes or no coin and ask if it is haunting an item. Is this spirit attached to an item in pile 2's location? No, not an item. Is this spirit attached to the dwelling place, the building, the house itself in pile 2's location? No, not attached to an item, not attached to the building you're in. Is this spirit attached to the land where pile 2's dwelling place is built? Yes. Okay. So that goes along with what I was saying earlier about how sometimes, a farmhouse gets split up into apartments, or something that was on the land, it got bulldozed and now there's a new building or it's a new subdivision kind of a thing. So they are haunting the land that you're on, whatever part of it was theirs. It used to be theirs, or they used to live there, or they felt, attachment to it, maybe ownership to it, although I'm not 100% on that one. Because I feel like they would have shown, I feel like if they had ownership, if they had that kind of thing going on, they might have shown up as like a king of spades, but they showed up as the jack. Doesn't mean they didn't, but it just, they're attached. They either lived there, or I guess it's likely they lived there, or they grew up there, or something of that nature. So they're haunting the land that you're on. They're self-confident. They have bad intentions, which is kind of an issue. You know what? Let's get some hater cards and find out about these bad intentions, because I hate to just leave you like that. And typically these readings don't usually go past this setup, these mini cards, but let's just find out, because it says bad intentions and you don't want that on your land, but that's what they're doing. So tell us about this spirit's bad intentions, please. You know what? I am going to do, just to make sure everything is shuffled up good from our last few readings. Just to make sure, do that, and then we will shuffle these together. All right, so please tell us about this spirit's bad intentions. please tell us about this spirit's bad intentions. Whoops. Okay, that went a little bit all over, but that's okay. Okay, please tell us. We need information. We would like information about the bad intentions of this spirit. This Jack of Spades spirit. What are their bad intentions? What are they? Please tell us. What are the bad intentions of the Jack of Spades spirit? They have intentions. Please tell us what they are. Reveal to us. What is the Jack of Spades intentions? They have bad ones. What are they? Okay. What is this spirit's agenda? Right. Put all these together. Get that over here. All right. So tell us about this spirit's agenda, please. Seek. Oh, okay. Someone to perform or learn a cord cutting ritual. So this would be encouraging you. It's not necessarily telling us our agenda, but what it is saying is that one of the better ways to get them off the land is going to be a cord cutting. So they're going to have to, like, if you know somebody who can perform like cutting ceremonies to cut the cords between spirits and other things like land, people, objects, although in this case it's the land they're staying at, and potentially other things, like not you, but it could be other people around that they're attached to somehow. Well, actually, yeah, it really could. It could be someone else. So it may be the land, but it may be someone else. Like if you live on shared land, if you have like an apartment, it could be like your neighbor, right? It could be like your neighbor has this attachment or something. But for sure, one way or the other, the land, they're attached to it, that specific place, right? That wherever they are, they're specifically attached to that place as well as anything else. So cord cutting ritual, a professional could help get this spirit moved on. I believe that is a specialty of Reiki masters, possibly. So, take a spiritual bath. This also is advice for you. This is pretty much a spiritual bath means you get in the water with non-toxic herbs, and then you put crystals around yourself and you light some candles, and you do either you soak that way for a certain amount of time, or you do it at a certain point of the moon, or you do a whole ritual with prayers and whatever else of your spiritual path. There's a lot of ways to do it, but basically you need water, you need some salt, and then add other ingredients as your spiritual path's recipe desires. So this is for you, telling you to help you get energy off of yourself. Claiming credit over your success. So this actually just tells me more about when they were alive, because it goes, I can see immediately, like, boom, to me, it goes immediately with competitive and self-confident, but especially the competitive. It means when they were alive, they were the kind of person, they passed off other people's work as their own. They took credit for things they didn't do, which does not surprise me based on this coming up as their significator and all the other stuff. So it has not exactly said the bad intentions, though. It's got advice for you to get this energy off of you. But it could be that their bad intentions is just the fact of their personality of, I'm going to get mine. I don't care what happens. I'm going to take other people's success. I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to get mine. I mean, I actually really wouldn't be surprised. It does, because, okay, another thing about the Jack of Spades is it tends to be petty in its deviousness, and self-centered when that comes up versus other cards or it being in reverse or what have you. It tends to be very self-centered in its deviousness and its pettiness, less about hurting others and more about like, I'm going to do what I want and I don't really care what happens to other people. So yeah, they were the kind of person to take credit. Could have been long ago, could have been recent. I don't see a lot of cards that make me think it was more recent. So let's see. You know what? This spirit, I tell you, we're gonna add some flavor text to this reading using the Keys of the Kingdom. This is a deck with a rhyme, like a story for each card. So we're gonna add some flavor text, please, to this reading. I just want to know a little bit more about this Jack of Spades. So, can you give us a vibe, please? Give us a card so we can understand the vibe of this spirit a little bit more, please. Help us understand the vibe of this spirit a little bit more, please. Okay. What rhyme, poem fits in with the vibe of this Jack of Spades? Okay. Vibe. Which one will show us a vibe of the Jack of Spades? This one. Okay, let's see what the rhyme is for the vibe. Vibe of the Jack of Spades here. Jack of Diamonds. Interesting that we got two jacks. So let's see what your rhyme is. Oh, sorry, excuse me. All right. For the Jack of Diamonds. Little Jack Horner sat in the corner eating a Christmas pie. He put in his thumb and pulled out a plum and said, "What a good boy am I." So, yeah, this is just kind of a childish spirit. They don't have, how do I say? Yeah, it's a childish spirit. They were immature. They still kind of are, obviously. They don't see themselves as bad. They don't see their actions as bad. When they're being competitive and they're taking credit for other people's success, they really somehow believe they had something to do with it, or they did really believe they somehow had something to do with it. It's a self-centered spirit, and they're pretty immature. So they don't have any master plans, but they are hanging around, still being kind of self-centered. And if they decide they want something, they're going to stick their thumb in the pie and take it. So, all right. Well, pile 2, I think that's everything I have for you for this reading. And I thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Welcome, pile 3, to your reading. This is going to be about the ghost who has the closest proximity to you. We are dealing with those who were human once. We're not dealing with other kinds of spirits, asking specifically about those who were once human and have now passed on. Out of those types of spirits, which one is in the closest proximity to you? Which one is closest to you, nearest you, around you right now, out of spirits that were once living humans? So we're going to get a significator, going to tell us a little bit about the temperament and the personality of the spirit. And so I'm just going to close my eyes here and feel the cards until I feel the right one. Pile number 3. What spirit? Okay, I feel like I need to flip these. this one. All right, what spirit? We got your significator. Gonna go ahead and get some attribute cards for you. And I usually try to spread these out, but they stick so badly. I really need to get these printed in a different way. I made these, they're homemade, so they stick. It's blank cards and vinyl sticker paper. So, okay. You guys are not cooperating. Let's give you a shuffle, and then I'll just spread these out kind of by hand like I did. Okay. Attributes of the spirit. Most around pile number 3. Tell us about it. Okay, and I feel like we need to go way back here. Yeah. Okay. All right, and now we're going to ask our coin just to find out before we start flipping it if this is a wandering spirit or a spirit with a connection to you. Is this a wandering spirit? No. Is this a spirit with a personal connection to those who are watching pile 3? Yes. Okay, so it has a personal connection to you. And now we're going to flip our significator and find out a little about their temperament when they were alive, and also their temperament now, because it doesn't necessarily just change. Sorry, that was a notification. Queen of Diamonds reversed. So with the diamonds, all the diamonds, there's a lot of like fire and air energy kind of combined is how I see it, like what I get from it and all my time of doing this. And when you have the Queen of Diamonds, she has that same kind of like fire and air going on. But when she's reversed, she's not necessarily the nicest lady. She can be very manipulative, dogmatic. I want to say cold-tempered, which sounds really weird, right? Because you would think it means slow to anger, but it means quick to anger, but her anger is icy, right? It's icy anger. Gonna ice you out, gonna be the ice queen. I don't know how else to say that. Cold temper, like cold can burn you and hurt you too. And that's what I'm getting from this right now. So actually, this spirit was, this is the kind of spirit that gets like overbearing. They always think they're right. They are never wrong. They can't stand to be wrong. That sort of thing. So let's go ahead and get you some more of these attribute cards. And let's see what they say. Let's see what they add to the picture. Lacks empathy. Yeah, that goes with what we were saying so far. Happy. Interesting. But this is their current state of being, right? This is showing their current state of being. Lost, which happens with spirits a lot. Okay, refuses to accept reality. Whenever we get this one regarding a spirit, especially when we've got like lost, usually this strongly indicates that chances are very good they will not accept the fact that they have become deceased. They refuse to accept that they have become deceased. They will not admit it to themselves. This also can be a very good lead into why they're lost. They're refusing to accept it. They're trying to go on as if everything was normal and they are still among the living. And when you do that as a spirit, you kind of end up not knowing where you're at. You are lost. You're a little confused. Confused didn't come up though. So I think just lost. The reason I think confused didn't come up and happy did instead, as well, I say instead. To me, that is an instead. If confused would have shown up, this showed up in its place. Is because, again, not accepting reality, not even questioning it. Just refusing to even question, right? If things are going weird for them, they just deny and ignore it and then just keep doing whatever they're doing. This person, feminine, sorry. Feminine spirit, female spirit, or feminine energy. They're not admitting. They refuse to accept that they have become deceased. They may be, I don't know if they're causing you issues or not. You may just be feeling that there's something around you, or you may be questioning if a certain spirit is around you. And if your question was, hey, this person that I knew who hated being wrong and would never be wrong, are they around? Then the answer would be yeah. And they still can't stand to be wrong. And they refuse to accept that they are deceased. But the fact that it says happy too, that's kind of a good thing, because happy spirit, it means it's not going to mess with you, right? It also kind of lessens some of the more negative aspects of the Queen of Diamonds reversed. So I don't see a lot of malicious intent cards or anything like this. Lacks empathy certainly does mean they can be selfish and hurtful, but because it's going with this, right, which describes a person who is dogmatic, they're overbearing, they can't stand to be wrong. That goes hand in hand with having a lack of empathy. You don't care what other people think, and you don't listen to anybody else, and you're gonna, people are gonna do it my way because I'm right. Some people are just like that. But I don't see, at least in this reading, what has not come up is some of the malicious intent cards. So I think the spirit is here just being stubborn. Honestly, they're still around because they refuse to accept that their state of being has changed. And they're not going to admit they're wrong about it either. They don't want to, but it is causing them to be a little bit lost. So, all right, pile number 3. That's everything I think I have for you today in this reading. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.